Avast ye mateys, and welcome to the SS Beginner's Guide. My name be Captain Azuark, and get the harpoons ready, for we've spotted whales off the starboard bow. As has hopefully been made abundantly clear to you by now, Genshin Impact can be played completely and totally for free. But Genshin is an extremely high-quality AAA game that is constantly putting out new content, and spares no expense on their art and music budgets, so where's all that money come from? Like most other free-to-play, or F2P, games, Genshin doesn't charge a price to get in the door, but they do allow you to purchase certain perks to get ahead. It's not technically pay to win, because all the things you can purchase are theoretically available to a free player, but there is no way you could ever hope to collect all the characters or their weapons without breaking out the credit card. So let's talk about what happens when you break the seal of not spending money on the game. First of all, a quick term. Players that spend a large amount of money on a game are known as whales. They are the ones that support the whole ecosystem and enable so many other players to be able to play for free. So please thank your whales rather than snapping condescending remarks at them. The only time you should criticize someone for spending on Genshin is if you know they can't afford it. Because of this marine life terminology, sometimes lower spenders are referred to as dolphins, and other fish-oriented names are occasionally thrown around as well. There's no real accepted standard on how much spending makes someone a whale, but there are options to support the game or to get some smaller, more cost-efficient bonuses without really going for broke. So let's take a look at those. There are three primary ways to spend money on Genshin: the Blessing of the Welkin Moon, the Battle Pass, and Genesis crystals. And I would generally recommend investing in them in that order if you're going to. All currency mentioned in this video will be given in US dollars. The first option is the Blessing of the Welkin Moon. This is a very simple, small bonus in daily Primogems. For the price of $5, each day over the next month that you log in, you will get 90 Primogems, as well as 300 up front. When you combine that with the 60 you get each day for your daily commissions, this means that you're earning an average of 1 wish per day. Note that you will start to lose value if you aren't logging in daily. Unlike other login effects though, the Welkin Moon legit only requires you to log in and tap the screen. In terms of efficiency and low-cost investment, it's probably your best option long-term. If for some reason you should decide to, you can also buy up to 6 months up front, which will simply extend the time it remains active by another 30 days. Your second option is the upgraded version of the Battle Pass. This requires us talking about what the Battle Pass is. I'll do an entire video on this someday, but the quick version is that once you reach Adventure Rank 20, an extra option will open in your menu and on your quick wheel that lets you access a leveling treadmill where everything you do contributes towards going further up that treadmill. The Battle Pass has a total of 50 levels, each accompanied by a small reward, and there is a second tier to it that gives rewards roughly 3 times as large as the original. You only gain access to that second tier by paying $10. Before we talk about the rewards, let's point out a couple things really quick. First, if you haven't unlocked the Battle Pass, this is a complete waste. In fact, I don't think you can buy the Battle Pass until AR20. Second, the bonuses you receive from the Battle Pass build up over each 6-week patch cycle and then reset. They're focused heavily on your daily and weekly activity, so if you start the game or gain access to the Battle Pass late in the patch, you might just want to wait for the next one. And third, there are actually 2 paid versions. The cheap one gets you all the goodies, and the expensive one mostly just makes it a little easier to max out your levels by giving you 10 for free. Considering a daily player shouldn't have too much trouble maxing out the Battle Pass anyway, the only excuse for this is if you're playing sporadically. Otherwise, the more expensive version is absolutely not worth it. Although they have revamped the rewards with patch 5.0 to include the new artifact creation elixir, but I still see no reason to buy the expensive Battle Pass. That said, the basic Battle Pass is a very good investment. One of the things it gets you, which is often in short supply for players, is Mora. Lots of Mora, like 2 million extra Mora for a full Battle Pass. The second important reward comes at level 30, where you gain access to one of the special Battle Pass weapons. Almost all of these 4-star weapons are pretty decent, and being able to pick one each cycle can often be very handy. Twice in the distant past, I bought the Battle Pass just to have a weapon to give to one of my new characters. While I would usually recommend the Welkin Moon to players who are going to invest money over time, one early Battle Pass investment might be far more valuable than 2 months' worth of Welkin Moon. And finally, we talk about Genesis Crystals, aka swiping. Genesis Crystals are effectively just Primo Gems. For legal reasons, they have to be a distinct currency, but they convert into Primo Gems at a 1-to-1 ratio. The only reason you would not simply consider the two to be identical is that Paimon Shop does have a few outfits you can purchase for characters, and they cost specifically Genesis Crystals. Otherwise, we're just going to treat them as fancy Primo Gems. The 300 flat Primo Gems from the Welkin Moon, by the way, they're also technically Genesis Crystals. Remember, of course, that Primo Gems themselves are really only used to purchase wishes for the gacha, and Paimon Shop offers 6 different bundles at different price points that each come with a first-time purchase bonus. It should be noted that while Genshin is not a particularly predatory game as far as gachas go, they hold nothing back in terms of toying with your psychology once you look at the bargain screen. The first-time bonuses are designed to entice you, thinking you're getting double the base amount, when in reality you're getting an extra quarter of the base amount on later purchases anyway, means that it's really only around a 60% bonus. Second, wishes are expensive. The $100 bundle will net you 8,000 Primo Gems on subsequent purchases, which translates to 50 wishes. That means you're paying $2 per wish. Considering that it takes an average of over 100 wishes to get a 5-star after factoring in the 50-50, and you're basically paying around $200 to secure a 5-star. When an average AAA game costs $60, which I'm usually reluctant to pay for when I could either wait or buy a decent indie game instead, it blows my mind that people are willing to drop the cash to not just pull for characters and their weapons, but for several duplicates as well to maximize their potential. But these are the players subsidizing the game for everyone else. So again, please thank your whales, don't insult them. Oh, and if you're wondering, I personally have spent a lifetime of roughly $150 on the game, all on Welkin Moon and Battle Passes in the first year. The last time I spent any money on Genshin was during Eula's rerun in late 2021 to get her the Battle Pass weapon, Serpent Spine. I have never spent on Genesis Crystals because I know that I have willpower issues, and that was my line in the sand that I would not cross. $15 a month was not obscene to me, considering I used to play World of Warcraft, but more than that would lead to me draining my bank account. Still, the important part is that everything I have on my account since then was earned purely F2P, including C6ing by Yelan. I don't pull for every characters, but I have the ones I care about, and I believe it's generally better to make smart choices than to bust out the credit card. I will grant you, though, I have a 4-year advantage over anyone new, and I concede that if you start playing Genshin and know you're going to be committed to it, or if you simply have the money to spend, it makes sense to spend the money from your wallet sooner rather than later to give yourself an early boost. After all, that's effectively what I did with that year worth of Welkin Moons, right? So, spend wisely. If you know someone with a gambling addiction playing Genshin, please sit down with them. If that's you, call a hotline. And thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one.